Hello and welcome back to my channel. I do apologize for the horrible graphics that I have going on. I know that I am not lit the best and that I'm normally better lit. The video quality is better. I did have a phone that was more designed for doing videos like this. That's why I purchased it, but then my dum-dum butt decided to drop it in a toilet and it doesn't work anymore. So until I get my replacement phone, unfortunately we're working with my crap telephone. That's like 2 generations ago. So yeah, fun times, right? Okay. Alright, so I hear a lot of, especially Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, and we're going to do videos on them in just a little bit, but I hear people trying to talk about everything else that's more deadly than the coronavirus. The coronavirus isn't as deadly as it is, blah, 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 and I wanted to show you some numbers and debunk some things and talk about some things. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this because I did a whole bunch of math and Googling and getting averages and a lot of research went into this video, so let's just jump right on into it. All right, so yes, as of current, sorry, I kicked my tripod. As of current numbers, about 40,000 people in the United States have died of coronavirus. That's been within, like, since it became a real problem, that's been within just about a month and a half, 6 weeks, about 6 weeks. But we'll count all the way back from January, so that is about 4 months, about 60,000 or 40,000 people have died, and they're saying about 60,000 are going to die. I actually think it's probably going to be a little bit closer to 70 to 80 given the fact that we're already at 40,000, and I don't think this is going to end until, at least slow down until almost June. So as New York slows down, I think other hotspots like Florida are going to pop up and take its place. So we're still going to have massive death numbers up until probably the beginning of June. So that's why I'm coming to that. It's probably going to be around 75 to 80 in its first wave. And remember, this is just the first wave. There will be other waves of this. They're predicting second and third waves that could be deadlier than the first wave. So just think about that. And this first wave, we were able to tamper down by social distancing. This social distancing until June is super important. And this is, I'm just going to break down the numbers for you. Just break down the numbers for you. Okay, so let's start with, if we just let this, if we open everything back up, we don't social distance, and we do life as normal, it takes about, they say that it's got about a 1 to 4% mortality rate. I'm going to go with the lowest at 1%, and we're just going to use those numbers, okay? Cool. All right, so we have about 328 million people in this country. 1% of that is 3,282,000 people. That's how many people would die from the coronavirus if we did not social distance, if we did not take precautions, if we did not do what we're doing to flatten the curve. Think about it. Just think about that. So on an average daily basis, just taking it down, that would be 8,967 people a day would die from the coronavirus. Now, if we just let this wash over. Now, we haven't. We've been very smart and we've social distanced, and governors have done their jobs very well. But just to give you a general reference, from every other disease in this country, the average American and the average death in America is 7,000 a day. 7,000 a day. All right, the average person who dies from heart disease is 647,000. Cancer, 606,000. Diabetes, around 80,000. The flu, I went with 2018's numbers, and that was 56. We'll just round that up to 60,000. Gun violence is around 40,000, and when I added all those numbers up together, I got around 1.5 million, or 1,500,000 people. Coronavirus was going to kill how many if left unchecked? Oh yeah, double that. Double that, and then add an extra couple out, 100,000. Think about that. Just think about that. That's just the coronavirus, all right? If we left it unchecked. Now, our best example of how bad this actually is New York, where it went undetected for quite a while before we started noticing it. All right, so on average in New York State, 158 people die a day. That's on average on New York, according to their statistics. Their deaths, their website is 158 people, with an average of 25 people in New York City dying in their homes a day. Why are these numbers important? Because if you look at how many people are dying in New York a day right now, it is anywhere between 500 and 700. That is basically almost 5 to 7 times the rate that people would die normally in New York City. Think about it. That's how deadly this pandemic is. That it is in New York State. It is killing almost 5 to 6 times the amount of people, and that is with social distancing and efforts to tamper it so the number would stop growing, so that the peak would not be reached to an insane amount to where not everybody would get it and the hospital system would be overwhelmed. So when you hear people say that the flu has killed more people, that gun violence kills more people, that pool deaths kill more people, that is simply not true. The numbers show you otherwise. The numbers show you that this is deadly. This isn't something we should be playing with. This isn't something Fox News should be saying we should just let 1% of the population die. Remember, that is over 3 million people we are talking about. That means that it is more people than everything I just read you, including heart disease, cancer, gun violence, automobile accidents, and diabetes combined. This could kill. So, yeah. I don't understand why people don't actually look at the numbers and do the math, because it's freaking bat nuts crazy how many people this virus, if left unchecked, would kill. We don't have the hospital capacity. We don't have the morgue capacity. We don't have the economic capacity to deal with that many deaths a day. It would literally double overnight. And then you don't think about the fact that there are people in hospitals who would be, or people that would normally go to the hospital. Like, and once again, let's refer to New York City. New York City, there for the longest time, if they showed up at your house and you didn't have a pulse, they didn't take you to the hospital. You were just dead. There are lots of people that don't have a pulse that are revived at the hospital and live normal lives. Those people, not getting help. You go in for a stroke, they may have to make the choice whether to treat you or a coronavirus patient that has a better chance of surviving. That's an actual thing that they might have to do if we let this wash over our country. If we return to work too quickly. If we return to our normal lives as if nothing happened too quickly. That 1% of the population is not something I'm willing to risk. 3 million lives. 3 million lives. Double what kills most Americans. Double. And then everything, and I do mean everything in the United States that kills Americans, everything, I'm not including all the minor stuff, is still less than what coronavirus would do by 1,000, almost 2,000. Think about that. Just give that some thought the next time you hear someone say that the flu is more deadly. It is only as low as it is because people have taken steps to mitigate it, because people have tried to make sure that the hospitals don't get overwhelmed, that they don't have to pick which patients live in, which patients die. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be the one that has to make that call. That would be absolutely horrific. So do the world a favor and stay at home. Don't listen to Fox News when they say that more people have died from the flu and we don't shut the country down for that. If the average flu became a pandemic and was killing 3 million people a year, I guarantee you we would try to social distance and mitigate that, because 1% of the population is an unacceptable risk. And that's the lowest. There are some counts that say it could be as high as 4%. So, times that times 4 would be 12 million people. So, yeah. That's just some food for thoughts and some actual numbers. And I'll see you guys later.